This is the Week in Review for thetrumpet.com, Friday, May 6th, 2011. In the early hours of May 2nd, U.S. Navy SEALs shot and killed Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden was the terrorist leader behind the mass murder of nearly 3,000 people on September 11, 2001. Bin Laden and his organization, Al-Qaeda, were also connected to attacks against American embassies in the 1990s and the USS Cole in 2000. U.S. intelligence tracked bin Laden to a residential compound located only 30 miles north of the country's capital, and the compound was about a mile from Pakistan's most prestigious military academy, causing speculation that members of Pakistan's military, intelligence service, and/or political leadership helped to hide him. Bin Laden's death made front-page news across the globe, and many celebrated the news. However, there are thousands of extremists and terrorists willing to carry on his work. In the short term, bin Laden's killing could result in coordinated or lone wolf attacks by terror cells. In the slightly longer term, it is clear that the killing of one man will have little effect on the world's biggest state sponsor of terror, Iran. In Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood issued its first public statement on the death of Osama bin Laden. The Brotherhood took care to refer to the terrorist leader with the honorific term Sheikh. It accused Western governments of vilifying Islam and said that waging war against the United States in Iraq and Afghanistan was legitimate. Meanwhile, Palestinian rival leaders of Hamas and Fatah traveled to Cairo to sign a unity agreement on Wednesday. The two groups split 4 years ago when Hamas violently took control of the Gaza Strip. However, Egypt was able to coax the two groups to reconcile. Leading up to Wednesday's signing, Hamas underlined its commitment to violence, saying it would not recognize Israel or renounce violence. Israel strongly opposes the Fatah-Hamas mixture, since Hamas is still committed to destroying Israel, and Fatah appears to be open to the idea. On Sunday, Pope Benedict XVI beatified Pope John Paul II. 1.5 million people attended the beatification Mass in Rome, roughly the same number that witnessed last Friday's royal wedding. This huge interest in John Paul II is a result of the work he did to build the Catholic Church's popularity and power. As the Trumpet pointed out in 2005, perhaps his greatest achievement was to stack the Vatican with conservatives who would continue his right-wing legacy. Pope John Paul's legacy will ultimately be shaped by what he prepared the way for, the Trumpet wrote, and that legacy is going to be far different than the way it appears today. On Tuesday, Portugal announced it will be bailed out by a loan of 78 billion euros. Though the exact terms of the European Union bailout are undetermined, an EU official said they will be severe. Portugal will have to raise taxes, cut benefits, and reduce state pensions. The government will also have to privatize more than 5 billion euros in state assets. Portugal is the newest European state to sacrifice its control over its own taxing and spending. The trend toward a federal Europe continues. China and South Korea will celebrate the 19th anniversary of their diplomatic ties by setting up their first ever military hotline. The hotline will link Beijing and Seoul and is part of a broader strategy to boost military cooperation. A South Korean official said that the hotline is significant because it will prevent accidental military confrontation on the Yellow Sea and facilitate sharing information on unidentified aircraft. A Chinese newspaper poll shows that most Chinese believe that Beijing deploying its first aircraft carrier will start an arms race across Asia. The poll also showed that 80% of Chinese want the military to launch the carrier nevertheless. The first Chinese carrier, a refitted Soviet vessel, could launch this year. Weiss Ratings Agency downgraded America's sovereign debt rating to a C, only 2 notches above junk status. Weiss Ratings are based solely on statistics. Also this week, the number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits rose to the highest number since August of last year. Non-farm growth slowed, and the U.S. dollar hit a 3-year low against other major currencies, while the euro remained strong. And that is this week's Trumpet.com Week in Review.